Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kentucky Club Pipe Tobacco, the choice of the people, presents Vox Pop, the voice of the people, direct from the New York World's Fair. Vox Pop is conducted by Parks Johnson.
Here I am. Hello, everybody.
And yours truly, Wally Butterworth. Parks and I are interviewing John Q. Public again tonight from the crowded lobby of the RCA exhibit here at the fair. Vox Pop is dedicated to the grand and glorious order of pipe smokers in honor of Kentucky Club, the pipe tobacco that's as modern as the world of tomorrow. The only tobacco that's packaged in a patented Fresh Tex wrapper. And now, here's Parks all set for the first interview. Come in, Parks, old boy.
Okay, Wally, just before I introduce this great, big, fine-looking gentleman, let me answer a lot of letters that you folks are writing as to where we're going to be. Next Saturday night, we'll be right back here in the RCA lobby at the World's Fair. We'll be glad to see all of you. And your name, please?
John Lucasavage.
Where from, Miss Lucas Savage?
Right.
Where from, Miss
Worcester, Mass.
Worcester, Mass. Your business?
The railroad man.
Married man?
Right.
And I see you smoking a pipe. Got it in your hands right now. What kind of pipe is that?
That's a Vox Pop.
The reason I asked that is because I saw it written on there. I knew what it was. Is it a good pipe?
Good. Very good.
Mr. Lux Savage, we're going to ask every person who comes up to the microphone tonight one question. The person who gets the closest to it is going to have to be a guest on the part of everybody, I suppose, and yet you may have some information on it. But the one guessing nearest to it is going to receive 5 brand new $1 bills. Here is the question each person will be asked. How many towns are there in the state of Pennsylvania? Give us a guess.
About 4,500.
4,500, he says. Put that down, somebody. And you who listen, as well as we in the audience, are going to be surprised at the correct answer to that. Mr. Lucas Savage, in your opinion, if a gentleman throws a kiss to a lady, is he affectionate or is he lazy?
Well, that depends upon the fellow.
The fellow or the lady? Well, if you thought enough of the lady to throw a kiss at her, looks like you ought to carry it, doesn't it?
Right.
It does look like it. You talkative chap?
Quite well.
Quite well. Railroad men are good all-around. You remember when you were in school, you had to recite and declaim and all that kind of stuff, didn't you?
That's right.
Let's see how well you do that now after all these years. Recite for me that little stanza. Yankee Doodle.
Yankee Doodle dandy.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me that first stanza. Yankee Doodle came to town.
Yankee Doodle came to town, eating a piece of candy.
Riding on his ponies.
Riding on his pony.
Stuck
a president's hat. He's called it macaroni.
All right. What's that macaroni?
Oh, that's something good to eat.
Well, I know, but in that case, what does he mean by macaroni?
Well, beyond me.
Beyond you? I think that referred to a very well-dressed Maryland soldier in the Revolutionary Wars, and it's come to mean a fop or a dandy or something like that. Now, Vox Pop is a program that makes you remember that you've forgotten a whole lot of things. For instance, I bet you've forgotten a lot of your mathematics when you were in school.
I did.
All right, I'm going to freshen you up on it a little bit. Every one of these you get correct, $1 bill, brand new $1 bill. What is 10 divided by a half? Very simple.
5.
10 divided by a half is 5, huh? 10 divided by 2 is 5. I'll give you another crack at that. Don't you see? It couldn't be.
It.
Uh-huh. Give me a guess on that. 10 divided by half.
10 divided by half.
Uh-huh.
2.
Is 2. My golly, you get worse and worse. Can't give you it all on that. All right, now, can you take 2 from 11 and 1 from 7 and get the same result? If you can, I'll give you a brand new $1 bill.
No, I can't.
Can't you? E-L-E-V-E-N, take the E-L off of it. That's 2 from 11. That leaves you E-V-E-N, does it?
Yeah,
take 1 from 7, S. That leaves you E-V-E-N, doesn't it?
Even.
That really was tricky.
No,
I'm going to give you $1 for imposing on you like that on that question, because that isn't fair. Now, here's one last question on that. A house is being moved on rollers. You've seen a house moved on rollers?
Yes.
These rollers are 18 inches in circumference.
Right.
Now, the question is, on one revolution of those rollers, how far forward will that house move on one revolution of those 18-inch rollers?
72 inches.
72 inches is your answer. Well, I can't give you $1 on that. I'm going to say 36 inches, and I expect an argument. By the way, did you get your money's worth out fair tonight?
I did.
Yes, and you'll always get your money's worth with a tin of good old Kentucky Club.
Thank you.
2 ounces in that tin. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
very much. Wally, are you ready? Come on in here.
Thank you, Parks. And by the way, in asking these questions of the same of each person, I must confess that last week 2 people guessed 2,500 grains of rice were in that jar. And we found it out after the broadcast and paid off. How many towns in Pennsylvania?
Oh, I'd say about 5,300.
5,300. Mark that down, please. What is your name?
Belcamp.
Where are you from, Mr. Belcamp?
Little Falls, New York.
And what is your business?
I am a magician.
Holy gee, let me get a hold of my money. Have you got any good tricks?
Sorry, none for the radio, I'm afraid.
No, you have to. They're all visual, aren't they? Well, television will soon be here. Now, did you see the gentleman that Parks just interviewed up here?
I did.
You stood right close to him.
I did.
I see. I want you to tell me the color of his eyes, his suit, and his necktie.
Well, I think I'm unable to tell you his eyes or his necktie because his back was to me.
Oh, you didn't? I see.
But I'll tell you that his suit was, I think, a pinstriped blue serge.
Pinstripe? Where is that gentleman? Did he go far away? I didn't notice that myself. But okay, Mr. Belknap. Now, who, what, when, why, and where is the keynote of what business or profession?
What was that, please?
They're the fundamentals, the keynote of the industry, of the business. Who, what, when, why, and where?
Afraid you've got me there.
Always want to know who did it and where did it happen and when did it happen and why did it happen and how. Newspapers, don't you know that?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Certainly. Now, you give me quickly a word that rhymes with the word I give you. For instance, if I say cat, you say rat. Okay? We're off. Box. Socks. That's hard. You were going to say it. Amuse.
Amuse, is that?
Amuse, yes.
Abuse.
Abuse is correct. Rhyme.
Time.
Syllable.
Synonym.
Who? Syllable.
Symbol?
No, I don't think that rhymes.
I see. What is it again, please?
Syllable.
Alibi?
Oh, well, no, I want a word that rhymes with syllable.
What, you want to rhyme?
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid you got me there.
Tillable. How about that?
Yes, tillable.
Okay, silver. Don't go any further. There is
Not
none.
let it go.
All right. Now, you go to the movies a lot, I'm sure. I'm going to give you a chance to make $1 here. $1 if you'll tell me who were the stars of the picture Mutiny on the Bounty.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Mm-hmm. Just give me one of them. Did you see the picture?
No, I didn't see
You
the
didn't.
picture.
Well, all right. I won't pay you, but I won't reprimand you for not answering then. How about Romeo and Juliet?
I didn't see that either.
You didn't? You wouldn't know who the stars were.
I think, no, I can't tell you what.
Norma Shearer and who else? And,
Tyrone Powell?
no, Leslie Howard.
Leslie Howard.
Now, what is the difference between the it girl of the movies and the girl of the movies? You know, though, who they are?
Well, the it girl was supposed to have been Clara Bow.
She was.
She was, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a great deal of discussion as to who the girl is.
Well, who's your pick?
Well, I don't know. I think that, we might say, I can't think
I
of
think
a
it's
name.
Ann Sheridan who is
Ann
supposed
Sheridan,
to be.
that's right.
All right, now one more question. What horse race is followed more closely in the United States than any other?
The Kentucky Derby.
You sure of that? Wouldn't be the Irish sweepstakes, would it?
Very possible.
No, I'm only fooling you there. That is the most famous race, and there's the $1 for it. Incidentally, Kentucky is known for something else which is very famous, too. Try this tin of Kentucky Club in your pipe and smoke it, will you?
I will just.
Thank you, Mr. Belknap. Come in, Parks. Are you all set?
Yes, sir, Wally. Let the gentleman right behind you come up, the man with the cap on. Tell me your name, please.
Albert C. Killian,
Where from, Mr. Killian?
Buffalo, New York.
What you doing with that Legion cap on?
Why, just winding up the 21st Annual State Convention of the American Legion held in Albany, and I'm on my way home now.
Good. I just wondered if there's anything out here today. I hadn't seen it. Any evidences of it?
Well, thank God that we can wear Legion caps instead of steel helmets, too. That's something.
Instead of tin cap. Mr. Killian, you say you're from Buffalo.
That's right.
Every town, city, county, state in the Union always claims that they lead in some one thing, you know. Every town ought to be the first in the world in this, that, or the other, whatever it is. What does Buffalo really lead the world in?
Well, Buffalo has a diversified industry, and in fact,
Well, now,
they
just
lead
give
in a
me-
great many things.
Oh, just give me some one thing.
Well, it's a great rail center, for one.
Uh-huh.
It's the
that's-
milling center.
Wait, I just wanted one thing. Now, your fellow townsman will probably give you fits for not picking out something else, but I just want to put you on the spot. How many towns, this is that question for the $5 $1 bills, how many towns in the state of Pennsylvania?
Well,
Give us your guess.
I'll take my post number 3,560.
3,560. You have that for Mr. Killian? Now then, you see these brand new $1 bills?
That's right.
You have them there? All right. Here's one for each correct answer. Which is farthest west? This is geographical. You know your geography, I assume.
Well, it's quite a
Oh,
long
let's try
time
it. Let's
since
try
I
it
was there.
anyway. Let's try it. You know these towns, cities. Which is farthest west? Murphy, North Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, or Atlanta, Georgia? $1 if you get me the correct.
Repeat those, please.
Murphy, North Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia. Farthest west.
Farthest west, I
Uh-huh.
said Detroit.
Too bad. That's farthest east of those three. Atlanta's farthest west, so I can't give you the $1. Which is farthest west of these two? Nome, Alaska, or Honolulu, Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii? Sorry, it's Nome, Alaska. Look like it. Can't you? Look here. Look at this $1. Don't you want that $1? All right. Now, wait a minute. Don't look at this sheet of paper. I wouldn't know the answers myself if I didn't see that. Can you go higher above sea level than you can low under the sea level?
So.
Lower below sea level than you
No.
can higher above?
I believe you can go higher above.
Higher above?
Mhm.
Man, why don't you guess these things right? Now, good. Guesses a lot. You can go deeper in the ocean. 35,400, I think, is the deepest
Well,
spot.
that's news to me. I thought an airplane can go about any place.
Oh, I beg your pardon if you misunderstood me. I meant as to the natural thing, you know. You go down deep in the ocean.
Oh, I
or a
misunderstood
mountain.
your question.
What would you have said if you had understood it, Mr.
Well, most naturally.
What would you have said?
Below sea level.
All right, we'll give you the $1.
Okay.
The reason I did that is because I think I'm going to stump you on one or two of these.
Okay.
Modern, in ancient days, they called it Caledonia. What's the name of the modern country that used to be called Caledonia? Any idea? Huh?
No,
Oh,
I'll
you
have-
particularly blank on that?
Yes.
Well, try this one. Both of these come under the same question. Helvetia, Helvetia, Helvetia. That was the old name. What is it now?
You got me in that history, huh?
Well, Caledonia was Scotland, Helvetia was Switzerland. And one last thing here. Do you consider yourself good company in any crowd you get in, Mr. Kidder?
I hope so.
You hope so? Remember this. Kentucky Club makes a pipe good company in any company.
Okay.
There's your tin, sir. Thank you very
Bart.
much. Glad to have had you. And here's Wally. How about it, Wally?
Yes, Parks, and before I interview this next gentleman, I want to tell you a little story. You know, everyone wants to smoke a pipe, but lots of fellows tell me they've tried it, but have had to quit on account of tongue bites and throat irritation. Others say to me, Wally, I wish I could find a cool smoking pipe tobacco. Naturally, I recommend Kentucky Club right off the bat. And why? Because Kentucky Club is a choice blend of mild, smoking, all-white burley tobacco. What's more, the patented Fresh Tex wrapper inside that handsome blue tin retains Kentucky Club's natural moisture 306% longer than ordinary wax paper. And that's by actual scientific tests. Now, fellows, take my advice. Compare Kentucky Club point for point with any other pipe tobacco you've ever smoked at any price. And here's what you'll discover. First, that Kentucky Club gives you 2 full ounces. That means 50 glorious pipefulls or 70 perfect roll-your-owns. Second, Kentucky Club is packed in patented Fresh Tex to keep that quality tobacco in high order. Third, Kentucky Club is union-made, blended by Willoughby Taylor from all-white burley tobaccos, giving you a mild, cool, and full-flavored smoke. And fourth, no cigarette taxes to pay. That's why I say to you, stop smoking old-fashioned tobaccos, sweeten up your pipe with Kentucky Club. All right, sir. Now, if this gentleman will kindly step up, will you drop the mic a little, please? Thank you very much. How many towns in Pennsylvania, sir?
1350.
1350. Mark that down, please. And let us have your name.
Doris Walls,
Where are you from, Mr. Walls?
Rockland, Massachusetts.
Rockland.
That's correct.
What is your business?
I'm a state liquor inspector.
A state? Practically practically a detective on my heels here.
More or less.
Between a detective and a magician, I'm going to be wrapped up before this is over. Now, let's talk about the news. You've been reading a lot of papers, I'm sure. What 3 famous ships are remaining in port here in New York City due to the war?
Queen Mary,
Yes?
Normandy,
Yes?
and the Italian ship Roma.
Mm-hmm. Very good, sir. I'm going to give you $1 for that.
Thanks.
You're going to take it, eh?
Thank you.
Mr. Walls, what time do they have in England?
Greenwich Mean Time.
And in Rome?
I don't know.
Central European.
Central European.
Yeah. What is a war baby in the business world?
A war baby?
Yeah, you might say in the financial world, stock market, whatever.
Well, I should say a stock that pertains to things that are necessary for the
That's right.
pursuit of war.
That's right. That's right. Like steel, cotton, and so on and so forth.
That's
Very
right.
good. What does a Londoner call a streetcar?
Trammy.
A tram. That's right. Tramway. Fine. An elevator.
A lift.
Uh-huh. A policeman.
Bobby.
A bobby. And a railroad.
Railroad.
I think you'll find he calls it a railway. Huh?
Railway.
Yeah. What man is associated with Radio City? The entire group of buildings? What man's name?
You mean in New York or
Yes,
here?
in New York.
Rockefeller.
That's right. And Empire State Building?
Al Smith.
Mm-hmm. Now, for what are the following cities noted? Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Furniture.
Furniture is correct. Pittsburgh.
Steel.
Right. Chicago.
Stockyards.
Mm-hmm. Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre, PA. Coal.
Watch your step. That's right. I'll give you $1 on that. You answered it all correctly. But let me have that tin of Kentucky Club up here and just look at where that is made. It's made in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Remember that, will you?
I'll do that.
You're going to enjoy that smoke, I'm sure. All right, Park.
Thank you.
Come in.
All right, Wally, this lady right behind you with the... Well, it's a red hat. You know how we feel about hats, so I'm not going to comment on that. You don't mind my kidding, do you? Tell me your name, please.
May Rutter.
May Rutter?
Uh-huh.
Before we go any further, so where you are, from, anything like that, and before I forget it, how many towns in the state of Pennsylvania for those $5 $1 bills?
About 2,300.
2,300. Have you got 2,300 down there? Okay, now where are you from?
Zanzibar, East Africa.
Zanzibar, East Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me see if I know anything about my geography here. Let's see. Zanzibar is on the east coast, isn't it?
Uh-huh. In the Indian Ocean.
In the Indian Ocean.
Uh-huh.
Is it an island or is it part of the...
No, it's an island.
It is an island.
Mm-hmm.
How large is it?
It's about 80 miles long, but 25 miles wide.
Oh, just a little place, huh?
Mm-hmm.
About, well, it's not as long as Long Island, is it? No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't
Like
that. Well, what are you doing in this country?
I was ill with fever, and my husband's is British in the British Colonial Service.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to come back to being an American. I wanted to come back to America before we went.
You are an American originally? I
Yes,
see.
and when I married, I retained my citizenship.
I see. You're still a citizen of this country?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Texas.
Well, now look, when are you going back to Zanzibar?
Well, I was to meet my husband in London next month.
Uh-huh.
When he went on his leave, you see.
Yes.
But now that the war is all broke out and everything, I don't know what I'm to do.
You
Because
mean-
I haven't heard from him.
You really, you haven't heard from him
No.
recently? You expect...
Nothing since.
In other words, you don't know whether you can, will meet him in London or not yet, of course.
Oh, no, not now, because he's British, you see.
That's right.
But
You
he
don't-
said, I didn't know he'd be put on a boat or sent up into interior Africa or what.
Say that's tough. We don't realize as we walk around over here just what is going on, I suppose.
Pretty awful.
Yes.
Mhm.
I suppose you could tell us something that most of us don't quite know about. Well, now, what are your plans? You just going to
Well, I
wait
have no
until you
plans.
hear from him?
I have no plans because I must wait till I hear from him. He may not be in Zanzibar anymore, you see. If
It
they
does.
they might put him on a boat and send him any place, you see. If they put him in the Navy, well, he'll go any place, and he may...
But you certainly will hear from him. I know.
Well, I hope to.
As soon as he gets to a telegraph office, you know good and well you are
If
going to hear from
yes,
him.
but what are we going to do about mail? How do I know? But I had a letter on some of these ships that were
That's
robbed.
right. You may have.
And
It's
then
that.
I don't know when I'll get
But
a
cheer up,
letter.
lady. You're going to hear from him. I can just...
Is that a promise?
Yes,
You
that's a promise.
promise
I
that?
promise
Oh,
you. Tell me a
that's
little bit about Zanzibar. What's it noted for, particularly?
Principal industry is closed.
Closed.
About 80% of the clothes of the world comes from
You mean
there.
CLOVES?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Not dresses.
Well, that's in
clothes.
hot country, isn't it?
Yes. It's 5 degrees below the equator.
Just below the equator.
Mhm.
You couldn't stretch it and just touch the equator for us, could you?
No, 5 degrees is a long way.
Well, now, how many, have you got many inhabitants there, many people?
About 250,000.
And what's the ruler called?
The Sultan is the ruler, Arab.
He's an Arab? Mhm.
There's a lot of Arabs there, and
Yes.
some Indians from India,
Mhm.
I think you call them Hindus.
Yes.
And they're the traders and merchants and people like
But then they're
And
probably
then the native is Swahili.
Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're telling me lots of interesting things. Well, I take it then that the majority of the people there are Mohammedan?
Yes, practically all are Mohammedan.
I see.
Mhm.
Well, let's get back just a moment to your husband. What is his business, did you say?
He's a dentist in the British Colonial Service. That's
British Colonial
something like our Army, like if we had somebody in the Philippines or something like
Well,
that.
lady, I'm quite sure that you're going to hear from your husband. And I'm so sure of it that I'm going to hand you this little tin of Kentucky Club to cheer him up no matter what and how hard his duties are. You'll love the aroma of that when he smokes it. Will you take it to him for us when you see him? And we hope it's very, very soon.
I do hope it isn't all mildew before I get to take it to him.
It will be fresh many, many, many months. That's Kentucky Club. Thank you very much, and we're so glad to have had you with us. Wally, how about it? Are you ready?
I do have a lady, Parks, if you'll kindly step up. And tell us your name.
Elizabeth Coombs.
Where are you from, Miss Coombs?
I am from Hawthorne, New York.
Hawthorne, New York.
Yes.
I see. Is that Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Mrs. Coombs, I'm going to give you a chance to make a little money. Oh, we'll say around $3.
If I'm lucky.
Well, I think you look lucky to me for some reason or other. A few weeks ago, I asked someone on Vox Pop to give me a girl's name for every letter out of the 26. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to tell me the name of any kind of animal. Start at A and go right to Z. Now, I'll give you a start. A for ape. Now, take B.
Ape, bear, cat.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, eagle. Do you count a bird?
That's a bird.
All right. I think I am, too.
Go right ahead.
Um,
Start again. A, ape.
Ape, bear, cat, dog.
You get 20 out of the 26 right, I'll pay you.
Oh,
Elephant. Go ahead, I'll give you that.
Oh, heck, it's my favorite animal, too. Elephant, giraffe.
How about F?
That's fish. Don't be telling me that. You got away from
Mark,
me.
you're going to ruin this. You go hunting for him.
Fawn, I suppose.
Well, that's all right.
That's an
Very
animal.
good. I was thinking of fox.
Giraffe.
Yes, sir. H.
Hare.
All right.
Hare.
I.
They have them in the Bronx too. IAMA. I don't know how you pronounce it.
All right. That's okay. Niebeck.
J. That's not an animal. That's a
You look
donkey.
at Park Johnson's ears and you'll be able to think of that one.
Okay. Kangaroo.
Yeah, L.
Llama.
Yes. M.
Marabou.
N. You're wonderful.
N. Duck.
Mrs. Billy Goat, what's that?
There you go. And
O.
L-M-N-O. Otter.
Okay. P.
Okay, pheasant. No, that's a bird. No, it's an animal. Pheasant. I don't know.
Well, we call him porcupine. How's that? Q. Wait a
minute now. Q,
I think that'll be awfully difficult for you. There aren't very many.
about
Quilty.
14 letters, and there was one up there.
Well,
that
take
has
R.
Rabbit.
Yeah, S.
Steer.
T.
Tiger.
U.
U-R-L-A-H-A.
That's right. You're absolutely right. The V.
I don't know.
Vicuña. I don't know it either.
I don't.
W.
Wolf.
X. You don't have
Duck.
to guess that. Y.
Yeah.
You right? React. Z.
Zebra.
Woo! You're wonderful. Let me hand you $3. Now, quickly, how many towns in Pennsylvania?
I think that there are 37 townships and 82 towns.
37 townships and 82
There's a
towns.
difference in Pennsylvania.
There is indeed. Mark that down, will you please? And will you take that tin of Kentucky clubs with our compliments?
I will.
Come in, Park.
Just for the next interview, I want to pause here. And, we get thousands of letters every week about Kentucky Club that prove I'm giving you people a straight tip. Tonight's letter is from Mr. Park Summers of 333 Curry Street, West Plains, Missouri. Mr. Summers says, and I quote him, I have just tried this fine-cut Kentucky Club tobacco in my new Vox Pop pipe. I smoked 3 pipefuls. The first pipeful was excellent. The next, even better. And the one I'm smoking now, believe it or not, is better than the first 2. And in this new pipe, too. Man alive, it's the finest I've ever smoked. Not a bit of bite in this cool, rich-flavored smoke. And it soothes a fellow's nerves. Kentucky Club pipe tobacco takes away any sour, grouchy feeling a fellow could have, and it makes him at peace with the world. Kentucky Club stays lighted, too, and it burns so slowly. I like it, unquote. And we like your letter, Mr. Summers. Thank you, sir. Vox Pop is the voice of the people. Kentucky Club is the choice of the people. All right, the gentleman here, first, right off, let's find out how many towns in the state of Pennsylvania. Your guess on that.
I'll guess 6,000.
6,000. Mark it down, 6,000. There's a varied opinion on that. Tell me your name.
Harry T. Rathbone.
Where from, Mr. Rathbone?
From Detroit, Michigan.
And your business?
I'm in the Detroit Institute of Arts.
What are you doing out here?
I'm at the Masterpieces of Art exhibition.
Oh, you're here at the fair, not as a
That's
visitor.
right. No, I've been here since the beginning of the year.
That's that place where they got $30 million worth of...
You got the figure right.
Oh, the world's masterpieces. Tell me,
450 of them, that's
if
right.
you know, name 2 or 3 of those masterpieces that seem to draw special attention.
One is painted by the man who invented oil painting, Jan van Eyck, a Flemish artist.
Uh-huh.
A little Madonna that comes all the way from Australia for the exhibition.
Uh-huh.
Valued at $500,000.
Oh, just $500,000.
That's all.
I see. Well, now, you married?
No.
Let me try you out on a little something. Last week we gave some tests to show whether a fellow had masculine or feminine characteristics. It doesn't matter which because it's perfectly natural.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple more. People have asked us to give one or two more. So I'm going to ask you to look on that wall. See that spot of red up to the left?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you people in the audience, look at something on the other side of the wall. All right. If you look at that and remain looking at it fixedly, then you will have masculine characteristics. If you looked at it and let your gaze wander, that's the way the women do. That's a feminine characteristic. Now, suppose I should tell you that your fingernails are dirty. Look at them right quick, everybody. Well, that's all right. That's masculine. A man will put his palm toward him, bend his fingers, and look at the back of his fingernails. A lady will put her palms outward and spread her fingers and look at them that way. So those are a couple of other tests that we have just for fun. How about the little dollar bill game here? You mind?
Not at all.
All right, $1 for each correct answer to this. In what state is Stone Mountain? Very famous, big, solid rock, Stone Mountain. You know?
Virginia.
Virginia? That's the wrong guess. That's in Georgia. How about Boulder Dam?
Nevada.
I can't give him $1 on that, can I? How about the Alamo? Come on, get $1.
That's Texas.
Texas. Take that $1. Yes, sir. Now, how about the town of Van Buren?
Middle West.
Yeah, somewhere out there. It's in the smallest state west of the Mississippi River. Now, what is it? Don't get it?
Dakota.
Dakota. No, sir. That's Arkansas. Well, I tell you this. Give her that tin of Kentucky Club. No matter what state, which thing is in, you'll find Kentucky Club sold there. That's good. Food, burning tobacco. Thank you very much. Glad to have you. Wally, how about it, Fred? Yes, Mark. This lady, please, would you tell me your name? Up the mic.
Joanne A. Hall.
Where are you from?
Lucas, Virginia.
Lucas, Virginia. Good. How many towns in Pennsylvania?
Oh, I'll say there's 5,000.
About 5,000. Put that down. Mrs. A. Hall, are you, you're a housewife? Good cook?
Well, I think so.
You do. I'm going to give you $1 if you can you see that nice apple? Here, hold it in your hand. You see this nice penknife? Nice, fresh, Wurf penknife. I'll give you $1 if you can pare that apple, but don't break the paring. It's got to come all off in one piece. Now go to it. Don't get nervous and pare it thick. Don't break the paring, boy. You're all right up to now. I'll say she's a housewife. How about it, ladies? Man, can that lady pare an apple? What I mean. It fell off. No, it wasn't cut off. Take the $1. Now, speaking of apples, what is the difference between Jersey Lightning and a Jersey Lily?
Jersey Lightning and a Jersey Lily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never heard it either.
You never did? Well, the Jersey Lily, of course, was the famous actress Lily Langtry, and Jersey Lightning is a sort of a whiskey or something they make over there. All right, now, will you let me give you this tin of Kentucky Club with my compliments, because I find that we're running awfully short on time. Thank you very much. Parks and I want you folks to start smoking Kentucky Club. Ask your dealer tonight for one of those handsome blue tins or the big money-saving canister with a thoroughbred horse and red-coated rider. Remember, that tin gives you 2 full ounces, enough Kentucky Club for 50 glorious pipefuls or 70 perfect roll-your-owns. Union-made Kentucky Club is blended by Willoughby Taylor from 3 choice all-white burleys. Last but not least, Kentucky Club is packed and patented Fresh Tex to keep it factory fresh. And when you get your Kentucky Club, be sure to look inside the tin for complete directions how to get your sweet smoking box top pipe. That pipe has a certified retail value of $3.50, but you can get it at a fraction of that price. All right, Park.
The winner of the town's business was Miss Coons. There's only one town in Pennsylvania. All the rest of them are either first, second, or third-class cities or boroughs. That's the only one chartered as a town. Wally and I'll be back with Vox Pop from the World's Fair next week, this same time, same station. And remember this, friends, a pipe smoker is good company in any company. This is Parks Johnson speaking. Good night, folks.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
What's the best tobacco you ever smoked, Jim? Oh, that's easy. Kentucky Club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Parks Johnson with Wally Butterworth opening up another Vox Pop program, and tonight from New York City. Vox Pop, you know, is dedicated to that grand and glorious order of pipe smokers, and is brought to you every Thursday evening in honor of Kentucky Club Pipe Tobacco, the all-white Burley Blend, and Julep Cigarettes, the new exciting mint-cool cigarette frosted to give your throat a thrill. Well, Wally, how about setting the stage for us, old boy?
Hot dog, Parks. You know, friends, tonight Vox Pop broadcasts from the gigantic home office building of the telephone company in downtown New York, the largest telephone building in the world. Here we are in the midst of transatlantic calls, local calls, business calls, the pulse and very heartbeat of the nation. And grouped around our Vox Pop microphone are the people who keep those wires humming. Cable splicers, linemen, repairmen, and, of course, both local and overseas pretty operators. So now we're going to see if they know their facts as well as their numbers. Let's go, Parks, and Vox Pop gives its first number, please.
Yes, sir. Here's a young lady that, what is your number, or do you have one? Tell me your name, please.
My name is Marie Hand.
Is that Miss or Mrs.? Or did you... Mrs., huh?
Mrs. Hand.
Miss Hand, before we ask anything more, let's begin now on our question of the week. That is, everybody gets a guess at it. The one nearest to it at the end of the program gets a $5 bill. And here is the question. It has to do with the telephone company. What is the average number of telephone calls per day? Hold on. Am I asking that New York City? It's in the country. That's it. All over the whole country. Average number of telephone calls per day over the United States.
Oh, my.
Give me some figure. Give me some figure.
Well, I should say about, maybe I should say 5 billion.
5 billion a day.
A day.
Wow! Put it. Boy, well, we're going to do a little guessing. Now then, tell me what's your end of this telephone business here? You vice president or something?
Oh, no. I'm in the personnel division of the accounting department.
I see. And we've got to let the folks know what kind of a beautiful background we're working out of tonight. It just peps a fellow up and makes him feel good this close to Christmas to be where we are. Will you tell us what in the world all these thousands and thousands of dolls are doing all around us here in this big room?
Well, we have them gathered. Of course, this was started a number of years ago by people in the accounting department. And, of course, every year the number increases. And all the other departments, of course, are very active.
You are dressing these dolls to give away for Christmas?
Oh, indeed we are. We give these dolls to many children in the city.
It looks to me like you've got some artists here in dressing dolls. Not that I know anything about ladies' dresses. I know a lot about ladies' hats. But that is, well, old listeners will recall that we had a campaign on goofy hats, and all like that. Miss Hand, in traffic lights, I'm going to get back to the dolls in a minute because I want to talk about them. But here's a question that occurs to me. In traffic signals, green means go, doesn't it?
Yes, that's
and
true.
And stop, the red means stop. Is that
that's
right? Well, now, why is that? Is there any reason in connection there why women wear such red lipstick?
Well, they may want you to stop, too.
You mean stop some distance away or stop and don't pass me? Huh?
Don't pass me.
Don't pass you, huh? You wearing silk stockings or?
Oh, that's my biggest problem.
All right. If there's all this string and a pair of silk stockings was stretched out end to end, how much stretching would it be? How long would that string be?
Well, I don't think it would be more than, they're usually about 30 inches long.
I'm talking about if you just unravel it,
if you just
unravel
it?
the total thread, yeah.
Oh, me.
From here to where?
I don't think I'd even know that.
Would it be in yards or miles?
Oh,
or?
I think it would be in miles.
3 miles. Just 10 yards short of 3 miles. Miss Hand, how are you going to get rid of all these dolls? How are you going to distribute them?
Well, these dolls will be distributed this Saturday to the various organizations.
Through what?
Through
hospitals and stuff
like that? Oh, yes,
the
various hospitals and churches and nursing homes and various places of that kind.
Well, now, one big question here. Who wrote A Loaf of Bread, A Jug of Wine, and Thou? You recall that?
Oh, it sounds like Shakespeare. But
Shakespeare?
I don't know.
No. That was Omar Khayyam, see.
Oh, was it? Well,
yeah,
I wouldn't know
under
that.
a tree somewhere. But now, that's okay for the olden days, but the Vox Pop modern version is this: a quiet spot, a mellow pipe, and a tin of good old Kentucky Club. I'm handing you a great big Christmas canister all wrapped to give away to some fine man for Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Will you do that? Thank you. All right, Wally, how about it? You ready?
Yes, sir, Parks. And here's a great big heavy-set fellow here. What is your name?
Eugene F. Doherty.
What do you do, Mr. Doherty?
I'm a coin box collector.
You mean you go around and get those nickels and dimes and quarters out of the...
Yep, I'm what you might call a nickel snatcher.
Nickel snatcher. You better be careful. The boss might be listening.
Well, he gets the nickels after I get through with them.
Oh, I see.
Well, now tell me, by the way, I wonder how many nickels the telephone company collects here in New York a day.
Well, figuring on a weight basis, I'd say about 6 tons a day.
6 tons of nickels?
6 tons of coins a day.
Woo! Well, how many nickels in a ton?
Oh, in the ton, I'd say about 190,000.
Oh, that is a mess of nickels. I'm not kidding. Well, now, here, how much dough does one of these phone boxes carry?
Well, they can carry anywhere from $33 up to as high as $61.
Is that
it depends on the type of coin that goes on it. Goes into the coin box.
Have to get my axe out. By the way, I'm going to have you take your crack at this running question here. How many phone calls are placed per day in the United States? Just give a guess for a $5 bill.
Well, I'll take the states for a guess. 48 million.
48 million. Put that down, please, on paper. Now, that's a lot different from $3 billion. If you had $100,000 and you gave away 13 cents, how much would you have left?
Have $99,999.87.
Boy, you're a pretty good mathematician. I'll bet the women couldn't do that. Did you read the paper today?
Well, I got about halfway through it.
You did? Well, that's fine. I'm going to see how well you did about it. Now, I'm going to give you $1 if you answer these correctly. Tell me within 5 degrees the official temperature outside right now in New York.
About 38.
38, and it's the weatherman just told me it was 28, so you lose. I just phoned the weather bureau 5 minutes before the program. All right, tell me within 15 minutes when the sun sets tonight.
About 4:20.
You're all right, boy. It was 4:29, and here's the $1. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now tell me within 2 minutes exactly what time it is now. I just checked my watch.
Within 2 minutes?
Yes.
I'd say it was about 7, 9:30.
7 what?
9:30.
Well, we've been on the air at 7:30.
7:39.
Well, it's now coming up 7:37.5. I'll tell you that. There's the $1. All right, I want you.
Worked in the telephone company.
Oh, yes, indeed. I want you to give me 3 prominent items that were featured in the newspapers this week for another $1.
Well, one of them was the sea battle down at the Graph's Bay.
Yes.
The attack by the 2 British cruisers.
Fine. That was today's headline.
Another headline in it was Mr. Hoover's work in the Finnish relief.
All right.
And then Mr. Roosevelt's statement on his work in the matter. Would you count that as 2 or 1?
Well, I think that's 1. Now you got to give me another one. Big item. Anywhere during the week?
Well, this week, Monday morning news was the football Giants lost to the Green Bay Packers. That's it.
You're all right. There's the $1. I'll give it to you here in just a minute. Now give me a warning.
You gave me a warning.
I'd like you to give me a warning that starts with the word beware. Maybe a proverb.
Beware the Ides of March, my friend.
That's right. And beware the dog. And I say to you, beware of harsh, strong tobaccos. Play safe and use Kentucky Club. There's your big, giant Christmas canister.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Parks, come on in here.
Yes,
Say,
sir,
by the
Wally.
way, you're supposed to know most of the answers. Can you tell me how many radio stations are broadcasting our Vox Pop show tonight?
That's easy. 50 of them, Wally, all over the country.
And how many radio sets are there in America?
Let's see, 26 million?
Mm-hmm. Well, how many folks do you figure are listening to Vox Pop right now?
7 million, 8 million, I don't know. 7, 8 million, Wally.
All right, now here's a simple arithmetic problem. There are 10 million pipe smokers in America. How many do you think are listening to us at this minute, Parks?
I'd say the great majority of them, Wally.
Well, I'll bet that every single one of you pipe smokers would like nothing better for Christmas than a good pipe and a big humidor canister of delicious Kentucky Club tobacco. In fact, you'd probably like to get a half a dozen canisters. The more, the merrier. So, ladies, get busy. Jot down on your Christmas list right now a good pipe and a canister of Kentucky Club for hubby or the boyfriend, for uncles, brothers, dads, granddads, and grown-up sons. When you give him Kentucky Club, you give him 400 glorious pipefuls of the world's finest union-made tobacco, specially blended by Willoughby Taylor, the only tobacco blended of 3 mild all-white burleys. It's a modern blend with a delicious light aroma, all its own. So get the men on your Christmas list to stop smoking harsh, old-fashioned tobaccos and sweeten their pipes and their dispositions with Kentucky Club, the modern blend. So there it is, the perfect Christmas gift. A good pipe and a big humidor canister of Kentucky Club. Okay, Parks,
Well, look what a big man I got up here with me. I'm going to be easy with this gentleman. Tell me your name, please.
Andrew Arthur McDonald.
Where from, Mr. McDonald? Talk right now.
Bronx, New York.
I want all the telephone people everywhere and all the good friends to listen to you. Bronx?
Bronx, New York.
And before I ask you anything else, your guess as to the number of telephone conversations per day in the United States.
I'll say about 55 million.
55 million for Mr. McDonald. Now then, your work at the telephone company, Mr. McDonald. Installation
of telephones.
I see. For instance, if I've just moved into an apartment house and want a phone put in, why, you're the guy that does the job, huh?
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Now,
exactly.
Exactly. You're supposed to, when you get through putting that telephone in my house, are you supposed to take out all the wire, or do I snitch some of it from a radio or what have you?
Well, you're not supposed to get caught if you do.
But I better not press you on that, Hatter.
You better not.
Mr. McDonald, I'll bet you in installing phones have run into some pretty interesting situations, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
Quite a few.
You recall any right now?
Well, in one particular case, this woman wanted me to install a telephone on a kitchen door.
On what?
Kitchen door.
You mean on the back of a door?
That's right.
Well, what happened? Did you do it?
Well, her idea was this. That when she opened the door, the telephone would be in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
When she closed the door, the telephone would be in the living room.
You know, that is good. I hope you were able to figure it out for the lady. Were you?
Well, I was. I compromised and put it in the living room, or next to the bed, rather.
That's unusual.
It was in the living room.
Well, did you have any trouble explaining to her why it couldn't go on?
Well, yes, of course. No, not exactly any trouble, but the idea, all I had to tell her was that we swung the door to and fro too often, the wire would break, and naturally the phone would be out of order.
Do you find that people are reasonable in your work when they understand what's going on?
Yes, they are.
You're very reasonable about
Very
it.
reasonable.
Mr. McDonald, you want some of these dollar bills here? They're brand new.
Well, being a Scotsman, I love it.
Oh, yes. I should have known better than to ask that question, huh? All right, now we're going to use the word tele. Tele means far or far off in Greek, way back yonder there. I think that's what it means.
Right.
All right. Now then, there are various means of communication which start off with the word tele. Until I say stop, every time you name one of them, I'll give you a dollar bill. Now, telephone is one. That doesn't count. I'm giving you that as an example and getting out of an easy one. Now go ahead from there.
Telegraph.
There's $1.
Teletype.
That's all right. Now, they must be different. That's $2. Oh, you slowed down on me. What's going on here? Can't think of any more? Telephone.
Telegraph. Telecron.
What's that?
It's a clock.
All right. Okay. That's 3.
Let's see now. My gosh, where's my mind tonight?
Where's your mind, huh? You missed the most important one of all for the dissemination of
Teleflash?
news. No, that's...
Television?
Television?
Teleflash is one, too.
That's it.
Television?
Yeah, but look, you see them all
Get that
around
money
you
out.
here. What's That's it. Tell a woman, they said.
Yeah, that's one thing I never do is tell a woman.
There's your dollars, and let me tell you. You tell a woman, and we're telling the women now. All women, get him a great big Christmas wrapped canister of Kentucky Club. That's the stuff that we're telling you on Vox Pop, and here's your big canister, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I'm glad the Scotchman got $4 or $5 out of that. Wally?
How much?
Wally's around somewhere looking for Pedro the voter. Have you found him, Wally?
You better have, Parks, and I'm right up here with the pretty lady who operates him, too. You remember we met an old friend out at the World's Fair. Tell them your name, won't you?
My name is Grace Donaldson.
Miss Donaldson, what have you been doing since the fair closed?
Well, after the fair closed, we came back here to West Street, the main building, and we've been practicing Pedro all winter long.
Well, you know, we interviewed him out there at the fair, and we just couldn't come here to the telephone building and pass him up. That would be a crime, wouldn't it?
Oh, I should say.
By the way, Miss Donaldson, were all of those operators out there at the telephone exhibit regular operators of the telephone company?
That's right, sir. Every one of them were telephone operators.
Boy, they must have handpicked them. I thought they were a flock of models sitting around out there that people were looking at. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a chance to make $5, Miss Donaldson.
Oh.
I want you to give me your idea as to the number of telephone calls placed daily throughout the United States.
Oh, that's hard.
Well, just take a guess. If you come closer than anybody else, you get $5.
All right, I'll say 3 million.
3 million. Put that right down, boys. By the way, I see you have... I bet there's more than 3 million in New York. You're a bum getter. By the way, I see you have Pedro here, and it certainly is good to see you again. Hello, Pedro.
Hello,
Pedro, what have you been doing since the World's Fair closed? Resting? Ha-ha. Well, I don't blame you. Say, by the way, do you like Miss Donaldson, Pedro?
Yes, very much.
Oh, you telling me? Okay, well, now, she's going to make some dollars if you'll answer some of these questions I ask correctly. What is the capital of New York State?
Oh,
There's a dollar. Who is the governor of New York State? Who did you say? Governor Lehman, that's right. By the way, Pedro, do you want Santa Claus to come around and see you? And what do you want for Christmas? Kentucky Club Tobacco. Well, boy, I'm going to see that you get it. I'll guarantee you that. Have you got anything else to say?
Yeah.
What? Merry Christmas to you, Pedro. Well, now, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen listening, that Pedro was operated tonight by Miss Donaldson's sidekick, Miss Catherine Barthelmess. And I want to say that the operation of this machine is one of the most miraculous things I've ever seen in my life. Just by the pressing of keys and getting different frequencies of tone, Pedro talks. He wants Kentucky Club Tobacco, Miss Donaldson, for you, a nice, cool, fragrant package of julep cigarettes with a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Park.
Well, that was fine, Pedro. Now we have another one of Pedro's sidekicks, or at least in the same family. A little closer, please, and tell me your name.
Miss Eleanor Pavlock.
Miss Pavlock, and where from, Miss Pavlock?
Oh, from Brooklyn, formerly from Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence is the old hometown, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, first of all, your guess as to the telephone calls per day all over the country.
Oh, I should say about 50 million.
50 million for Miss Pavlock. Now, Miss Pavlock, what's your work with the telephone company?
I'm an overseas operator.
Overseas operator?
Yes,
oh,
sir.
You sound sort of like it. Let me say again, I'm an overseas operator. There's just something about you ladies that we like. Overseas, huh? Do you have time while you're waiting for calls or between times to talk to the operators overseas?
Oh, yes, frequently when the radio men are testing the circuits, why, we carry on real conversations about the weather, vacations, the movies, and a lot of other things.
Have you made any real friends that way?
Oh, yes, I correspond to girls in France and England and other countries, and we exchange photographs. And we even send each other Christmas cards.
Well, are all of the overseas operators on the other side girls?
No, in England, the men come on at 8 o'clock 8 o'clock England time, which is 3 o'clock New York time.
Have you got a boyfriend over there in London, Miss Pavlock?
Oh, yes, they're very nice to work with.
I bet they are. Did you ever see any of them? Did any of them ever come over here?
Oh, yes, several girls and boys have come over from abroad this summer, from London and Paris and Buenos Aires.
And people that you talked to while you were chatting,
and several of our girls have gone abroad this summer. I've seen those people at work.
And do you send each other Christmas cards and all like that?
Oh, yes, every year.
Yeah, that's that. Gee whiz, I like your job. Miss Pavlock, tell me, are you a pretty good sport?
Well, I
You look
so.
like it. I'm going to take a chance on you. Your dollar questions have to do with these games around here. The men, they tell me in the company, have supplied these thousands of games in addition to the dolls that the ladies have put out here, the girls. So the game suggested this to me. There are 4 ways given in Mr. Webster's dictionary of spelling Pachisi. You know the old game?
Oh.
Now, every time you spell it one of the correct ways, you get a dollar bill. Start in.
Oh, my.
You could hardly miss some of them.
So long since I played the game, I've forgotten how to spell it.
Well, take a chance. You know what it starts with, so just dive on. Pachisi.
Oh,
I doubt it.
P-E-E-C-H-E-S-I-E?
No. Go ahead, Pachisi. Say it to yourself and see if you can spell it.
P-A-C-H-E-S-E-I-E.
Gosh. Take your choice. You haven't got a dollar yet. Can you spell tiddlywinks? You know the old game we used to call tiddlywinks?
Tiddlywinks?
That's what you said. That's what we call it. But what's the way it's spelled? Tiddlywinks.
T-I-D-D-L-E-W-I-N-K.
No, now listen to me carefully. Tiddlywinks. You get it all. No, with you on this. Here's Pachisi, the original game, P-A-C-H-I-S-I. The next one is P-A-R-C-H-I-S-I. The next one is P-A-R-C-H-E-S-I. And then C-H-W-E-S-I. Don't you see? Now, quickly, what's the first word you think of when I say this word, and you get a dollar on that if you get it? Tulip. What's the first word you say?
Flower.
Tulip? I know, but what's it? Well, give me a word that rhymes with tulip. Out here, all around you, they're saying it.
A mint julep?
Well, no, just julep. Just julep. Here you are. Julep. Your package of juleps, the mint cool cigarette, frosted to give your throat a thrill. And thank you very much, Miss Pamela.
Thank you.
All right, Wally, I'm going to see if I can trip you up now on something you ought to know. How many cigarettes will be smoked this year?
Oh, I think the figure's around 175 billion, Parks.
You think right, Wally? Now, how many were smoked in 1919? That's 20 years ago.
Not even a third as many.
Right again. Now, how many cigarettes can a present-day machine turn out in an hour, Wally?
Well, they tell me around 72,000. That's nearly 3 times as many as 20 years ago. And, folks, the improvement in cigarette machines is just one of thousands of astounding improvements that have been made in the manufacture of cigarettes in the past 20 years. Farmers, by using more plants per acre and better seed, have brought us much more delicate and milder tobaccos. So today, when you buy the finer cigarettes, you get a truly superb smoke. And without hesitation, I say that nothing can surpass the unique excellence of mint-cooled juleps, the sensational new and different mint-flavored cigarette that's frosted to give your throat a thrill. Since Parks and I made our first announcement 3 weeks ago, tobacco stores have been literally swamped with requests for juleps. From new regular julep smokers and from thousands who want to surprise their friends with the gift of a carton of juleps for Christmas. Everybody's discovering with amazement how cool, how exciting, and how refreshing these new mint-flavored julep cigarettes are. They leave your mouth feeling so fresh and clean without the usual cigarette aftertaste. So join the nationwide swing to juleps. Get a pack tonight and find out how delicious and different this new mint-cooled smoke really is. Now, sir, if this gentleman will step up, I want to find out what he does for a living and his name.
Stephen Wright, cable tester, New York Telephone Company.
What's that mean, cable tester?
Well, we test the troubles that are reported to us in the cable plant itself.
Oh.
That is, we locate the trouble.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get your wires crossed?
We find very many crossed wires.
Is that what gives me a force?
They're very apt to.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I'll tell you, after this broadcast tonight, I'm going to call up the Vice President of the Telephone Company and pull that old gag on him about 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, that's how it feels, brother, to have the wrong number ring.
That may have been caused by trouble hours.
Tell me a little bit about your work.
Well, our work consists mainly of making electrical measurements on cable and telling us somewhere in the city where a trouble is. And we then go out and find the exact location of these troubles.
Sounds like a lot of hooey to me, but it's all right. Now, how many telephone calls are made per day in the United States?
Well, I would say 3.5 million.
3.5 million. Put that right down. Don't know whether that'll win $5 or not. Yes, I do, but it won't tell you. How many wheels has a velocipede?
Velocipede, 3.
And a buggy?
Buggy, 4, normally.
And a chariot?
Chariot, 2.
And a sedan chair?
Sedan chair? It doesn't have any wheels. It has casters.
Well, it has casters. I never knew that. What kind of casters? They'd be wheels, wouldn't they?
Yeah, these little gadgets for sliding it around easily, or else
you've never been to Japan, have you, or any place like that?
Oh, you're talking about one of those.
That's right.
You had me.
I'd like you to name 6 occupations for a man that start with the letter B.
Builder?
Yep. This is for $1, too.
Bachelor?
A bachelor. Is that an occupation?
Finder?
Yep.
Booter?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that. Well, bookkeeper?
Yeah. You're all right. How about the butcher and the baker? Get down to some of these.
That's it. These.
Well, you made the grade anyhow, so I'll let you have that $1. Now, what occupation is it that requires one to beat something in order to have it successful?
Baker.
What's he beat?
He beats dough.
He beats it. Well, I guess he does. Whip it.
Whip it, beat it.
Yeah. What else? One more. Well, how about a cook? He beats eggs, don't he?
Well, I was comparing him with a bacon.
Oh, I see. All right. 3 occupations which require a stick.
Golf.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball.
Oh, not that. You call that a stick?
Street cleaners.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking about, how about a cop with a nice
cop has a stick.
Huh? All right, here's the $1. Here's the $1. Now, my young man, Santa Claus will soon be around to see you.
Oh.
And under the Christmas tree, if you've been a good boy, should be a canister of Kentucky Club tobacco. But just in case you haven't been a good boy, I'm going to give you this one now, see? So we'll frame Santa Claus. All right, Park. Come in.
All right, Wally. Did you see this good-looking girl coming up behind you, Wally? You'd have jumped out of that. Tell me your name, please.
Frances McDermott.
You say that as if it were Miss.
It is, Miss.
I'm surprised. I don't see how you've gotten by this long, as good-looking a young lady as you are. You don't mind that kidding, do you?
Not at all.
Miss McDowell, your old hometown, where is it?
I'm a New Yorker.
Native New Yorker?
Native New Yorker, yes.
You rarely run into them. Glad to see you. Before we go any further on this thing, how many telephone calls per day in the United States?
Well,
Your guess.
I've been guessing. I think about 180 million.
180 million for Miss McDowell. Now, Miss McDowell, you're work with the telephone company. What do you
Yes, sir, I do. Well, I believe, Mr. Johnson, that my position is one of the most fascinating that my company has to offer. I'm an information operator.
Oh, boy. And information. You're the young lady I call up when I feel all excited about something and want to know something in a hurry. Tell me, you've had a lot of interesting experiences, have you?
Yes, sir, I have.
What are some of the things that folks want to know when they call up information?
Well, the majority of our customers are usually interested in the telephone number of their friends. But then, of course, we have many unusual situations.
Such
too.
as?
Well, I have in mind one customer who called for a bake shop at a certain location. And after consulting my records, I informed him that there was no bake shop there, and he insisted he must have a business telephone. And I suggested passementry. So he said, well, pastry, passementry, bakery, it's all the same. Let me have it. And I did.
Say, before I ask you another one of those, if you can think of another one, will you explain why it is that some of our operators say... All of them say 3.
Oh, but they don't, Mr. Johnson.
Well, I know one that says it. I love to hear her say it. It just sometimes it looks like she can't turn it loose.
Well, do they roll them quite that long?
I like to hear it. You know, you do say that sometimes, don't
well,
you?
just a slight roll, not quite as much.
Of course, I understand it. In the interest of being absolutely sure that
yes, that's right.
Instead of some other number, a fellow slurs things like I'm said to slur things at times might get in trouble. Have you got another one that you can dig out of your hat some interesting things?
Well, I have one customer who came to me to help him settle a bet.
Huh? Yeah?
He was anxious to know just how many miles long the Hudson River was.
Yeah, did you tell him?
And, well, I was awfully glad at that time that our company has provided. I'm sorry we do not have that information because I really didn't know.
You didn't know, good. All right, let's get into these dollar bills here now. You're a good sport, too, aren't you?
I'd love to be.
All right, if you give me a passable definition, just any kind of a definition that'll pass it all for these 4 words, 4 words that I'm giving you, $1 on each. Just one that'll pass. If the crowd laughs, why, it's $2. All right, give me a good definition for a mouthful.
A mouthful?
Uh-huh.
Hot potato.
They didn't laugh very much. Well, they finally got around to that. They're a little slow on the pickup on that. How about a handful?
Oh, you got me. I don't know.
Well, you going to pass that? Can't you think of anything in a hurry? Well, how about an eyeful?
Good-looking girl?
You're right about that. You're right about that. How about a snootful? What is that? Gosh, I got to laugh on that. I get $2. Give me one right quick on it.
Well, I imagine when one has been imbibing too freely,
Yes.
that term has been used.
All right, you win on that. Now, one last thing. What is the exact opposite of vacuum? You know, I'll tell you, plenum. Kentucky Club is plenum full of good stuff that the boys like.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And now I'm going to check over our answers on the $5 prize question. But first, Vox Pop has a very important message.
Yeah, plenum. Parks and I have just one thing to ask you, pipe smokers, tonight. Get yourself a tin of Kentucky Club tobacco. Remember, it is packed in patented Fresh Tex. Look for the handsome blue tin with the thoroughbred horse and red-coated rider. And for you cigarette smokers, mint-cooled juleps are your best bet. Now, Parks, come on in and tell us who won that $5.
Well, Wally, the correct answer is 90 million phone calls per day in the United States. That's more than twice all the telegrams, letters, and postal cards combined. So our $5 prize goes to Mr. McDonald, who said 55 million. Well, and I'll be back again with Vox Pop next Thursday evening, same time, same station, from the famous Sloan House YMCA. Meanwhile, help the post office by mailing Christmas packages early. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.